Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Fasya Nugraha. I'm from class of TI 2023 E of Informatics Engineering of Surya University. In here, I will explain the three concepts in object-oriented programming in Python, which is the first one is inheritance, second one is the composition, and the third one is relation. This three concept is a basic in object-oriented programming. So, without waiting any longer, let's start to the explanation. Okay, for the first one, we have inheritance. Like its name, it inherits or have from the before, something like that. Like a child inherits the wealth of his parents or her parents. And in Python or in object-oriented programming, its inheritance is almost the same like that. So in inheritance, we have a class, or we call it as a child inherits or getting an attribute from the previous class or the parents. For an example, we have a class in here. The first one is the animal, and it has the attribute of speak, which is return some string that is some sound. And the second one, we have another class which is dog, and it is inherits from the animal, which is why there is a column here. Yep, the column here, and it have same of attribute which is speak, but different the return. Is why called inherits, because it inherits or having the same attribute like the parent or the animal, which is speak, but we override or changing what will become the result of the return of the function. And then to use this class, we declare an object which is dog, take the class dog as its properties, and print it. So the output will be woof. Yes, I already tried it before. Um, that is inheritance. So like there's a class, inherits another attribute from the previous class. For example, if we change in here some sound become hello, it will not change anything because we call the dog speaks, because we call the dog function. But it will be different if we change it here as meow, and it's the cat, and yet cat is, and yet we of course changing here, and here. So the output will be different as, sorry, I'm not saving it yet. It will be meow. So that is inheritance. Now let's go move to the second one, which is composition. Composition, like its name, it's composition, which is like an ingredient. If I have to explain about the composition, it's like there is an object having an attribute from another class, but it's not inherited. Maybe I can give an example of it. For the first thing, we have a class of engine here and have an attribute with the start, and it's written the value of the engine start. And we have the second class, which is car. It has two of sorry, it has two attributes, which is of course the unit of self and the start. We is almost the same like the before, but it's not an inheritance. Because why? Because in composition we declare the previous class, which is become an object in here. So when we, I'm so sorry, I forgot. So when we try to declare it as an object, we call the car, and yet the car in here, and print it will be engine start, which is the first, what is it? The first function. It will return the engine start. If I have to make an example, it's like a car need an engine to be started, because that's why we have the started engine in here as a parameter. It's not really, it's like just an attribute from this class car, but it's taking another attribute from another class. It's not inherited, but it's take. So it's like hopping another attributes from, so it's not hopping, but we already declare another object as an attribute from another classes. So that's why the car in here is output as engine start, because it's taking from the previous one, which is engine. That is composition. For example, if we change here not engine or other variable, it's not really gonna make another lot of difference. But if we change it as engine already started, and yet because the engine is not really return it or called in another function, because we call the car function. The car function is composite the engine function. So when we start this and or newly started, it will have another different value. What the? Oh, oh, I guess it's why. Okay. The one thing is it's like a difference in the. Okay, there is a composition. And next we move to the aggregation, which is almost the same as composition, but it has a slight. Okay, in aggregations there is a small bit difference. While it's not inherits but taking object from another classes, the aggregation is can be what it can be declared outside of the class. So it's like hoping another attribute from another classes to get inside of it. For example, we have a class of department here, which is have one parameter which is name, and another one we have class which is employee, and it have two parameter. The first one is name or sub.name, and another one is department. So in this thing, the department in here not really have an what I'm gonna say, not really have a relationship with the department in here, but the aggregation making and taking another attribute when it's defined as an object outside of the class. So when we declare a variable which is dep or department, and it have the department and IT, and we have another EMP which is employee, and all its department, and we try to print it employee.department.name, the output the IT, because the department of the Alice working is IT. Boom. Yep. Great. Right. Right. But when we change it to like we said, a management, and like Alice is for management. It's not really gonna make a lot of difference, but when we not really we change like Marcus, yeah, not really gonna make another difference, because the employee department is aggregation the previous the department. It's like, so for example, we already have a department and a new employee gonna get inside, so he just need to aggregating, so they just need a badge for his identity, where is he work for. There is aggregation. uh, so if I had to make a calculation between these three, an inheritance is like what is it called? It's like a relationship, like it's a. So when we try to make it like a word, it has a strong relationship with the previous class. And if we turn it into a sentence, it will be like, dog is an animal. That is inheritance. The second one is composition. Well, composition is like has a, like the before, uh, and not engine. Car has an engine, but it have a strong relationship because a car cannot go really well without an engine, and the so on. Engine is not really gonna use if it's not inside of the car in the context of vehicle, and it has a strong relationship because yeah, kind of it. But in the third one is this aggregation. It's almost the same like has an, but it have a weak dependency or the weak relationship kind of it. So it will be like a sentence. It will be like department has an employee, which is employee can work everywhere, and department can have lots of employee or not a lot. And that's yes the third of concept that I can explain to all of you guys today. I'm sorry for the inconvenience and a lack of things that I've said and so on. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Fasya Nugraha. This video was made for fulfilling the exam of object-oriented programming study. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.